What's cracking, guys? Omar Isaf here, back with another video, back with a very special guest. Igor is in the house. What's going on, my man?
Hey, everybody.
Yeah, we just got a great workout. Igor is also from Toronto. I'm gonna big up your channel because it's true. You're one of the few good channels out there that put out informative content. You now go to Fortis Fitness.
That's right.
It's cool having you here, man, in the gym, getting a lifting session with you. For those that don't know anything about you, why don't you tell them a little bit about yourself?
So I have a lifting channel, fitness channel, but primarily I'm a men's physique competitor. I've competed every year for like 4 or 5 years now. So that's like men's, it's physical development. So it's not bodybuilding. I mean, I have done a bodybuilding show once. Men's physique obviously is kind of like the more, I want to say somewhat smaller, but it's the more fitness model, maybe somewhat beach body physique, whatever you want to call it. So I do that, but at the same time I do a lot of other stuff. I've competed in powerlifting a few more times, 2 times, although I do that more so for fun. I would qualify myself as a men's physique fitness athlete first and foremost, then a guy who does a little bit of powerlifting, and then other things even like calisthenics, sprint training, all kinds of other fitness for fun.
Yeah. No, I think that's really cool where you tackle a couple different modalities, a couple different styles of training. Like you said, you did powerlifting before. We actually got off camera, we did a sprint session where you want to improve the sprinting, same as myself. Yeah. And that's a lot of fun. I think sometimes people get set in their ways. They're in a little bubble in a box, whereas, well, I'm only a bodybuilder, you know? Yeah.
I think the problem with that is kind of like, if you're doing that, like 1% of the population, not even like 0.1% of the population should do that because you need to specify so much. If you want to become a world champion, if you want to become a pro, you want to be like that. You, me, let's be honest, we don't have the genetic capability to probably do any of that stuff. And I've accepted that, and that's fine. And plus, I don't even want to do that. No. So like if I'm gonna, I don't have to put 100% into it. I can put 90 or 80% into it, and then take the rest of my time and diversify amongst other things. And a big reason behind that is because I've been training for a while, over 10, 12 years now. Yeah. I'm certain, let's be honest, there's a lot of diminishing returns. I can still put on some muscle, I can still put on some strength, but probably not as much as in my first year, where it was like 20 pounds of muscle, no problem, arms grow 2 inches. So now as I get closer and closer, it becomes the gains. First you put on 10 pounds a year, then 5 pounds a year, now it's like 1 or 2 pounds a year. So I still love it, I will always love it, I'm still always gonna do it, but I do wanna diversify into other things where I still have a lot more room to improve. Yeah. Because I'm slow as shit, so if I get faster, endurance, calisthenics, like a couple months ago I couldn't do one muscle up, or I couldn't do like the human flag or any of that stuff. So if I can grow in that, as opposed to just specifically focusing on bodybuilding, men's physique every day forever, fun. Yeah, and it's about longevity, and I think we talk about that on both of our channels, where we're in this for the long haul, where we're gonna be lifting for a long period of time. We're gonna be those jacked granddads, you know, 50 years down the road, still looking like, oh shit, that guy has some biceps. And so I think finding things that allow you to keep training, keep that motivation are very important. And I think it's really cool seeing this video, what people are about to see when it comes to training. You know, I trained with Eric Helms, recently Jeff Nippard, Alex, aka Alfred Destiny. It's interesting seeing how much common ground there's amongst natural lifters. At the end of it, people want to like talk like what they're doing is so different. And I understand that. I think everybody wants to, let's be honest, for YouTube or for their business, you want to stand out and you want to say that like what I have is a methodology that's somewhat different from other people. But at the end of the day, there are certain, to put on muscle, there are certain basic, it's not like this is what you do. No, it's a range, do a certain amount of volume. At the end of the day, everybody out there, you want to grow your biceps, you're going to be doing some kind of bicep curl. Everybody does some kind of chest bench press. So, you can flip the reps, the way, at the end of the day, everybody does a certain variation of something relatively similar because, we're all just natural lifters. So there's a lot of common ground. You train 3 times a week, you train 6 times a week. Chances are what you're doing isn't that drastically different.
Yeah. Rest pause, bro. We got, there's that one weird trick that's gonna instantaneously, and that's what when
that's how you get the 2 million view. The one weird trick to put 2 inches on your biceps in 12 minutes. Like, no, it doesn't exist.
And I think this is hopefully for those that wanna continue for a long period of time, they could take a look at your physique, right, and say like, wow, this guy has been lifting for 10 years. That's a physique that I wanna get, where it is attainable for most people out there, and you show the process. And I think that's really important.
Like a lot of people, I think that definitely it is good to set a realistic standard. I do think that at the same time, like there are people out there who, like, let's say their genetics are stupendous. It's almost kind of like, I like to tell people that for example, I will full out say certain parts of my body, genetically not the best. For example, my midsection, my waist, my enormous obliques, So for having that V taper and that small waist, not the best. But my back, I've always felt it's a stronger. So sometimes people ask me like, man, what do you do for your back? It's so, I'm like, well, yeah, I mean, I train it a lot. I love pull-ups, weighted pull-ups. Also, like, you know, when you lean down, you see more stuff. But I also tell people, like, literally since like I was 14, day one in the gym, arms suck, chest sucks, legs suck, back, not bad.
Yeah.
So I tell people, like, straight up, there are certain parts of my body that are genetically superior compared to the common person. And, you know, but overall, I do think that my genetics would be more or less average, maybe a little bit superior from the common individual.
Yeah.
But when people look at me, like, I started training when I was 14. On my 14th birthday, I entered the gym. I'm 27 now, so that's about 13 years. This is an example of what you might look like. You might look better, you might look worse, but that's an example.
Oh, Igor, I was gonna say that. On one hand, I'm so proud. I've seen so many people when it comes to either Fortis or people that send me messages where they've gotten like really strong following my advice, but then they get stronger than you or they look better than you. Yeah, yeah. And on one hand, you're like, oh man, I'm so proud of you. And then you're like, oh, like, dude's deadlifting 700 pounds, like, you know, developing better physiques. So it's possible.
Genetic variation is so much. I mean, you've got people who are 5'2", and then you've got people who are 6'8".
Yeah.
So like, that can happen. I mean, I have worked with people, and I'd be like, you know, I coach people, and I've worked with people, and then they get like leaner, and they look better than I have ever looked, and I'm like, good job. Yeah. I'm like, are you serious? Like, what did you do that I did? No,
tell me, bro. Yeah, and so maybe talk people through. So for myself, I'm in this lean mass phase, where I got about 3 to 4 more months before I work with Eric Helms on leaning down. Yep. Right now, you're leaning down. Give everyone kind of your stats, the goals, and what you're doing. Because we're showing this workout. We did a push workout today, but just kind of talk us through what you do.
So right now, I have been leaning down for about 8 weeks or so. Part of that is because I wanted to just lean down a little bit. I got as high as like 190, 195. At that point for me, anything above 190, like, I'm putting on more body fat. I don't think I'm getting any stronger. I don't think I'm getting any bigger. Like, there is a certain threshold. You can't just keep on putting on weight. No. That's why some people who chase the numbers game, like, I want to be 210, 220, 230, like, okay, you put on 9 pounds of fat, one pound of muscle. Eventually it starts to, like, you know, it doesn't really matter anymore. So I start to get to that point, then I want to scale it back a little bit just because, you know, like, I feel better. I always feel my best when I'm in my 180s, when my body fat percentage is reasonable. You know, I'm not like shredded or anything. When I'm shredded, I feel like shit, I'll be honest. But so I wanted to cut back a little bit. I did about 8 to 10 weeks. Like, I don't want to call it a mini cut, it was more like a moderate cut. And in addition, right now what I'm doing is, I used to be just doing standard training in the gym as much as 5 to 6 times per week, heavy, hypertrophy, kind of classic powerlifting and like bodybuilding kind of put together. Right now I'm doing actually only about 3 times in the gym, and then I do about calisthenics twice a week, and then I do sprinting 2 to 3 times a week. So now it's a lot more well-rounded stuff because Canada, summer, it's only warm. It's only warm here for like 3 months.
Yeah.
So you gotta take
advantage.
Take advantage of it.
Yeah,
so
man.
I'm trying something a little bit new, a little bit more fun, and also like, wow. You know, a lot of people think that like if you look good, you're just good at everything physically, and then we went to the track and we're like, literally, we were talking like Omar was saying like, yeah, when I was 15, I was like 2 seconds faster than I am right now, and we're just like. It's like if you have like it's like, you know, like Pokemon or something, when you have an RPG, you have like strength, special defense. We're like one stat is maxed out, and then everything else is garbage, and you're like, shit.
And some people, so when you say that, I completely agree, and that's why I think we have a lot of common ground when it comes to goals, training styles. There's some people will hear that and it's like, oh bro, you just want to do CrossFit. Then it's like, no, I don't want to be the guy that, yeah, I could lift some weight, I look pretty good, but then, you know, I gotta sprint or do something, and then I'm immediately out of breath. I can't do these other things. There's not that there's no carryover, but there's a lot of different types of training that a lot of people leave just drive, and they don't do it at all. They don't try it.
And I don't think it's going to necessarily inhibit you that much. I mean, you can still, I mean, obviously since I've started training 3 times in the gym as opposed to 5 or 6 times, there have been some modifications that you've had to make. Obviously, like, you're not training 5 times a week, your volume is going to cut down, which means in the workouts that you do, you're going to have to increase the volume a little bit, right? Because, you know, frequency down, intensity, volume up, whatever. So you can make some minor modifications, but like, it's not like you're going to just disappear. And it's like, I really don't think that it's going to necessarily harm you too much. Maybe like you're not like 100% optimal, you're still like 90% optimal. Yeah. I still think, and I'd rather, if that's a sacrifice I need to make in order to develop other forms of athleticism or my body, I'm fine with that. Yeah. I will do that. It's fun, it's exciting. I mean, at the end of the day, let's be honest, like, again, I'm not going to be a pro. I don't have the genetic capability for that. I don't want to do everything that it requires you to do that, and that's fine. So in the meantime, if I'm doing this for myself, I'm doing this for my channel, And like, I don't like, I see all these bodybuilders, like I talked about it recently, like they're like 260 pounds, they bench press like 7 minivans, but like, you know, they go up like a flight of stairs and they're like, they got the veins are popping out.
Yeah.
I want to be like that. I want to be
right, bro. Yeah.
Longevity, health, all of these things, in addition to like looking good and, you know, the perfect lighting and all that good stuff.
And I think that's a very important message, and especially from us, we're still young, we're talking about these things, because all too often I feel that people do chase kind of that, oh my God, like that guy's so, like Phil Heath, I want to be just like that. So, well, wait a minute now. It's like, here's what it entails. He's like the genetic elite. There's so many different sacrifices that must be made. Is this what you really want? I remember when I first started lifting, I liked the idea of improving my body, improving myself, developing that discipline, the dedication. Then it morphed. I wanted to seek more, you know, numbers, I get stronger and all those other things. But at the core, improving myself is what it's all about, not trying to get to some sort of external goal that might be unrealistic. Where you said that, I related to that. I had in my head when I first started lifting, bro, I was 140 pounds. I'm like, I need to get to 200 pounds in my first year. 200 pounds, yeah. And
I used to do that, and I would eat whatever it took.
Yeah.
And I wanted to get to 200. I got to like 205. I think the heaviest I was like 211. I was a fat 211. Yeah. And then I'm like, okay, I did it, but nobody cares.
Oh no.
They don't come to me, excuse me, how much do you weigh? Did you say 200?
You passed the 200
barrier? Oh my God, you know, like, that's it, life opens up for you, you know, like everything, you know, get him to the front of the line, he's 200 pounds.
And maybe that's a good point to make about you, Igor. You're basically, I know how you always say it's like I'm 5'11", like 3/4 or whatever. You're 6 feet, but like you're 6 feet, you're 180 pounds. Yeah. You look great. Yeah. Like a lot of people also, I think, get it wrong how much they need to weigh to look great, you know?
Yeah, it doesn't. To be honest, the scale is nice because you can see instant changes. You can put on a pound in a week or lose a pound in a week. And that purpose, it's great. But there were a lot of bodybuilders out there. I think Frank Zane, old school bodybuilder from like the 70s, he even talked about how he didn't really rely on the scale nearly as much as everybody else. He just looked at the mirror. Yeah. And I think that, for hypertrophy and like visual purposes, that is a great option. Instead of just always looking at the scale, it's like, do you look better this month as opposed to last month? You do? Okay, then scale doesn't. You're doing this to look better or be stronger. You're not doing this to get some magic number on the scale. That's just a very easy mathematical way of quantifying it.
Yeah,
that's it.
Now, I think it's very important for people to understand, see this, and that's why it was cool, man, getting this training session today. We did a little bit of bench press, did some overhead press, did some dumbbell work, did also some push-ups, and then finally finished off with some isolation movement. But, you know, when it comes to training, when it comes to trying to make progress, the fundamentals are always there. And so it's cool just getting a training session with you and seeing that those principles still apply. We're not doing something magical, you know, to grow.
There is nothing magical. Whenever people are trying to sell you on something magical, I have this magical technique, I have this super thing, like, I think a lot of times it's just like snake oil.
Yeah, whenever you hear about that one weird trick. And
the one weird trick to was it Mike Chang? Is that?
Yeah, we could say, but yeah, dude, he was around, then he pieced out. And that's why big ups to you, like I said before, where I'd say 5 years ago, there were not nearly as many, for lack of a better word, where they use that phrase, evidence-based, where people are trying to provide good content. And now I think there are several channels. I think you're doing a net good for YouTube and for people out there, and we're hoping to raise the overall fitness IQ for people out there.
At the end of the day, yeah, like that is definitely a good way of putting it. There's a lot of stuff out there which it's not really supported by any evidence. Doesn't mean it's wrong. You might like doing it. It might have even like anecdotal evidence, like, you know, I did it and I put on size, and other people I told to do this put on size, and that's great, but that's not fact. Yeah. It's not a factual. It's like kind of tips and things you can try. For example, like a really good, like, what's reverse pyramid style training, right?
Yeah.
You do that, it's fun. I even do that sometimes. I incorporate it into my programming, not every day, not every workout, but a lot of times. But the thing is, like, what if you do the opposite? What if you do ascending pyramid? What if you just keep everything flatline, right? Yeah. It's like, I personally have not seen any research that says, like, this is the best, you should always do it. Is it wrong to do it, or right? No, not necessarily. And is it fun? Yeah, you know, I can see that being the case. And I guess whatever makes your workout fun and exciting, if you're more motivated to do that workout, perhaps the workout will be better, sure. But in terms of, like, if you train this way versus you train this the other way, you're going to get net X% more
30% more, yeah.
That doesn't exist, which means if you tell people, like, it's a cool option, I do it, but don't be like, it's the best. If you're not doing this, you're an idiot.
Well, and last thing I'll just say, yeah, it was interesting where my boy Greg Knuckles took a look at all the research done on programming.
Yep.
And he was shocked, and when he presented it, it's like how little research has actually been done. Where people have been claiming, it's like, well, wait a second, you must do this. And it's like, well, wait a second here. It's like, we know a lot of the principles, the underlying principles, and then a lot of the other variations are up to your own discretion. You could try it out. Maybe it might work for you, but 90% of everything remains the same. 80 to 90% remains the same.
Yeah, I've had people that message me and they're like, they're hyper focused on this. Like, Igor, should I do 4 sets of 8 or 3 sets of 10? I need to. I'm like, what does it matter, man?
Come on, man.
Do what you want. Switch it up. You can, as long as you're not doing like 3 sets of 80.
Yeah,
I think you're good.
Are you getting better? That's the question to ask.
Yeah.
So anyways, guys, this is the video. I hope you guys enjoyed 2 guys, 1 barbell. If people like the video, you can like the damn video. Igor, where can people find you?
My channel is Vitruvian Physique at YouTube. It's hard to spell, but
easiest name to search. No, it's going to be the first link in the description. Check it out. Check out Igor's channel. He uploads excellent content. It
was a much better option of going. In retrospect, it was probably not a good idea of using that, but it was better than using Opushansky as my name.
Yeah.
I don't have the benefit of being like, hi, my name is Chris Smith.
Yeah. Chris Smith Athletics. Maybe you should just change your channel name.
I'm going to change my channel and change my name. You know, I've always wanted to become like Optimus Prime or something.
Oh, dude.
I'm changing my name to Max Power.
So close. Now you'll just have to stick with Vitruvian Physique.
Stick with Vitruvian Physique.
But yeah, man, we'll definitely get some more training. Maybe for those out there watching this video, leave a comment below, maybe a topic you want to see us talk about. That's all the time we have. Igor, thanks for being on.
Pleasure.
Well, and I'll see all you guys, my rascals, in that next video. Peace.